Beneath the scorching sun, a graveyard of forgotten giants lies silent, where massive V12 diesel engines rest like ancient shipwrecks buried in layers of thick grease. Time has not been kind to these steel titans, leaving them covered in thick scales of orange rust and hardened oil that hides their once mighty mechanical souls. Every step through this dry workshop echoes with the weight of history as we approach a fallen beast waiting for its chance to roar once again today. A gentle touch reveals the scars of 1,000 journeys, felt through the rough texture of decayed iron that has survived decades of brutal long-haul transport service. The rhythmic tap of the hammer sends a clear vibration through the metal, confirming that the heart of this V12 engine is still solid and ready. The restoration begins with the violent roar of pneumatic tools as high-torque impact wrenches fight against decades of seized bolts and stubborn industrial grime from the past. Black as midnight, the old oil slowly drains like the lifeblood of a fallen king, carrying away the debris of millions of miles traveled across the continent. As the massive crane hoists the heavy cylinder head, the internal anatomy of the beast is finally revealed, showing pistons caked in thick layers of carbon. Years of combustion have left their mark, creating a landscape of burnt deposits that we must carefully remove to restore the engine's original high-performance breathing capabilities. A violent torrent of high-pressure water strips away the filth, revealing the bright silver steel that has been hidden under a shroud of grease for decades. Steam swirls through the workshop as the cleaning process intensifies, washing away the stubborn residues of a lifetime spent working in the harshest industrial environments imaginable. Slowly, the true form of the machine emerges from the shadows of neglect, showing the precision engineering that made these diesel giants the kings of the road. The anatomy of power is now laid bare, with every bolt and gear organized for a total transformation that will breathe new life into this mechanical legend. In the heart of the foundry, the transformation begins with fire, as molten orange metal flows into molds to recreate parts that can no longer be found. This is where the soul of the machine is reborn, forged in the intense heat of the furnace to ensure that every new component meets original specifications. Precision is the law here, as the giant lathe spins the massive crankshaft, peeling away layers of metal to restore a surface that is perfectly smooth. Coolant sprays against the friction of the blade, keeping the metal stable as we machine the components to tolerances measured in the smallest fractions of a millimeter. Silver ribbons of steel fall like industrial rain, each one representing a step closer to the perfect balance required for a high-performance diesel engine to run smoothly. A master's eye and a precision micrometer ensure that there is no room for error, as we verify every dimension against the original factory blueprints for perfection. The human touch remains the most important tool in this shop, guiding the massive power of the machinery with the delicacy of a master clockmaker's skilled hands. Deep within the engine block, the boring machine carves out a new future, creating perfectly round cylinders that will once again hold the fire of combustion. Sparks fly as we grind the valve seats to a mirror finish, ensuring an airtight seal that is essential for generating the massive compression these engines require. The tempering process hardens the steel, locking in the strength needed to withstand the incredible pressures of a turbocharged diesel cycle over millions of heavy rotations. The machining hall is a symphony of heat and precision, where the raw materials are transformed into the high-strength components that will power the giants of transport. The delicate sound of hand-lapping valves fills the room, a rhythmic dance of abrasive paste and steel that creates the most perfect seal possible for the engine. Fresh, golden oil is applied with care, providing the initial lubrication that will protect these newly machined surfaces during their first moments of life after rebirth. Each piston ring is fitted with surgical precision, a critical component that ensures the engine's compression stays high and its oil consumption stays efficiently low during operation. With a gentle tap, the piston finds its home inside the cylinder, fitting so perfectly that there is not a single micrometer of wasted space within. The crankshaft, the very spine of the engine, is lowered into its bed of bearings, resting on a film of lubricant that prevents any metal-to-metal contact. The mechanical click of the torque wrench signals the perfect amount of force, ensuring that the engine's foundation is secured with absolute and unwavering structural integrity. We measure the gaps down to the thickness of a human hair, adjusting the valve clearances to ensure the engine breathes with perfect timing and maximum efficiency. Focus and dedication are written in the technician's eyes as he inspects every millimeter, knowing that the slightest error could lead to failure on the road. The injectors are the precision heart of the fuel system, ready to deliver a fine mist of diesel with the timing and pressure required for massive power. The gears of time are set in motion, meshing together in a mechanical bond that will synchronize the movements of the entire engine for years to come. In this sanctuary of steel, the giants are slowly waking up, one bolt at a time, through the collective effort of men who respect the old ways. The fuel lines are connected, forming a high-pressure network that will feed the beast's hunger for energy as it prepares for its first test run in decades. A coat of industrial blue paint signifies the completion of the structural work, protecting the iron and giving the engine the professional finish it deserves for its return. The blue mist settles, erasing the memories of the scrapyard and replacing them with the promise of a long and productive life ahead on the open road. The turbocharger is installed, the crown of the engine's power, capable of forcing air into the cylinders to create the incredible torque that moves the world's loads. Every component is now in place, from the cooling fan to the smallest sensor, creating a complete and balanced machine that is ready to face the heat. The exhaust system is the final piece of the puzzle, a pathway for the spent gases to escape as the engine begins its new life of service. Coolant flows through the veins of the machine, ready to keep the temperature stable as the metal begins to heat up during the intense initial testing phase. The oil level is checked one last time, a vital step to ensure that every moving part is bathed in protection before the first spark of ignition occurs. Power is restored to the control systems as the technician prepares the test bench for the moment we have all been waiting for after weeks of work. Standing proud on the test bench, the engine no longer looks like a relic of the past, but like a modern masterpiece of heavy industrial engineering power. A single press of a button is all that stands between silence and the thunderous return of a giant that was once destined for the scrap heap. The starter motor groans under the weight of the massive pistons, fighting the compression as the flywheel spins faster and faster, seeking the first breath of life. With a violent cough of smoke, the engine awakens, the first combustion strokes, sending a shockwave of sound through the workshop as the V12 finds its rhythm. The roar is deafening and beautiful, a deep bass frequency that shakes the very ground, signaling that the heart of this giant is beating strong. Once again, the mission is complete. This mechanical giant is reborn and ready to conquer the long roads ahead, proving that true power never really dies, it just waits.